Well, we got Hillary Clinton. Welcome to John Mike Keene. We're going to go back to the Durham report when Mr. McClintock cross-examined Durham, and this exposed Hillary Clinton paying for the Russia Steele Dossier.
Charge in the Russian collusion hoax was that Trump campaign operatives were in contact with Russian intelligence sources. Were Clinton campaign operatives in contact with Russian intelligence sources?
That's beyond the scope of our report. I can only speak to the former, and the former is there was no such evidence. He said that he was responsible for 80% of the intelligence in the dossier
and
50%
who commissioned the Steele dossier?
The Steele dossier was done by Fusion GPS, who was hired by Perkins Coie, who represented the Clinton campaign. And
so what role did the Clinton campaign play in this hoax?
I'm sorry, did they play?
What role did the Clinton campaign play in this hoax?
The Clinton campaign funded the work, the opposition research that was done by Fusion GPS, and GPS paid Mr. Steele for the dossier.
And who in the Clinton campaign approved that relationship?
We lay some of that out in the report. I think it was Mr. Elias, who was general counsel to the campaign, who engaged the services of Fusion GPS.
Mr. Jordan referenced the Clinton plan intelligence. Exactly what was the Clinton plan?
Based on declassified documents in the public record, there was intelligence information that was received at virtually the same time that the information came from the Australians. I mean, within a day or two. That intelligence included information that there was a purported plan designed by one of Mrs. Clinton's foreign policy advisors to create a scandal tying Donald Trump to the Russians. That's the essence of the intelligence as contained in the declassified information.
Did the president receive this intelligence?
On August 3rd of 2016, then Director Brennan had briefed the president, vice president, director of national intelligence, the FBI, the attorney general, and others.
When you say the FBI, you mean Mr. Comey?
On August 3rd, it was conducted at the White House. It was Director Comey himself.
So Mr. Comey knew about this. President Obama knew about this. Vice President Biden knew about this. But it wasn't provided to the agents on the case or provided to the secret FISA court. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Why wasn't it?
No, we can tell you what the facts are. People can draw their own conclusions from that.
What would the FBI have learned had it looked into this information honestly?
If before opening Crossfire Hurricane, they had checked their own files and communicated with other intelligence agencies and the like, they would have found that there was nothing at that time in their files that would corroborate the information, the suggestion of a suggestion that the Russians might provide some kind of assistance. There's nothing in their files that would corroborate that.
The Steele dossier was entered in the congressional record. Was it true?
I'm sorry, the Steele dossier?
Steele dossier was entered into our congressional record. Was it true?
There is not a single substantive piece of information in the dossier that has ever been corroborated by the FBI or, to my knowledge, anyone else.
Okay, the Steele dossier is fake. The one that was paid for by Hillary Clinton. Tom Brennan did not brief Trump. Obama knew about it. They're all criminals. This is a gal named Natalie just undressing Steele. This is the guy who wrote the Steele dossier on Piers Morgan.
That colluded with the Clinton campaign to take down President Donald J. Trump. But I really think that you represent probably the ultimate grifter in the American political space. For you to even come on here, obviously you're trying to sabotage what President Trump is doing when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. But to sit here, what is it, nearly a decade after you tried to smear President Trump as a Russian asset, to then say, well, I think he's a Russian asset, but even though I'm really good at my job and create all these intelligence reports, it's just sort of a feeling that I have. I'm sorry. What stones do you even have left to turn over to try to corroborate your claim that President Trump is a Russian asset? You what? Weaponized FISA courts, surveillance, warrants, not just domestic spy agencies, international spy agencies too, the entire DNC apparatus, a bunch of political operatives and registered foreign agents here in the United States. It's legitimate. You want to talk about president's sons who are involved in businesses with foreign countries? Well, I'd like to introduce you to Hunter Biden, right? When those 51 people that I'm sure that you know all too well, you were probably likely involved with the drafting of that letter, said that that was Russian disinformation. Well, it turned out that that was true, and shame on you for the last decade trying to inject the idea that smearing President Trump as a Russian agent or a Russian asset is somehow going to tank the MAGA movement. It's about putting America first, and the fact that you can still sit here and you have no actual evidence beside one random Russian meeting and, oh, we need to just continue to get more evidence. You're a complete political hack and grifter, and I wish the American political scene didn't have your voice in it.
All right, well, Christopher Steele, you're about to leave us because you're only here for this part of the panel, but your response finally to that.
My response is that I'm a professional intelligence officer, an expert on that part of the world. I'm not a politician.
Was the Hunter Biden hard drive Russian disinformation then, if you're such an expert?
So I've been a loyal and
question.
close ally of the United States for probably most of the last 40 years. I've worked extremely closely with officials working for administrations, both
especially the Clinton administration. None of what he found was corroborated. That's what the Durham report said. It was all made up, complete fiction. And that's why Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, it was a conspiracy with the FBI to take out Trump, and it was all a lie. I'm John Mike Keene.